Thank you for joining us. This is Paul Wilson.
And Chris Hemke.
And you're listening to Diesel Performance Podcast. Guys, we got another special edition All Truck Challenge competitor interview. Today we have on Steve Giordano. Steve, how the hell are you?
Awesome, man. How are you guys?
We're doing good. We're glad that you could take some time and kind of let us ask you 100 questions.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Cool.
Now, Steve, I was checking the stats for last year. I saw that you were definitely at All Truck Challenge. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was there. Yep.
I was there. Affirmative.
Give us a rundown, man. How'd it go for you?
I mean, I thought a really bulletproof setup. I mean, it was, at the time, it was a 5.9 common rail with basic triple CP3s, a decent size compound set. And, I mean, I drive this thing all over. I mean, it's definitely more of a play truck than a daily driver, but, I mean, we got out there nice and early. We had the nice meet and greet on Thursday. Friday morning, I was teched in super early, ready to go, ready to hit it. As soon as they called us for testing passes, you know, I was one of the first ones up there, you know, let's get this. And I made a first hit. I mean, at the time, the truck was about 1,400 horse. So I had to turn down to about 1,100 horse. I was just seeing where she was. And it was kind of a turn off the line, but she came to life pretty good. Ended up running a 7 flat at like 112, 113 or something like that. So lots of room to grow. But like the end of the track, I got whacked with coolant everywhere. Like I had this great setup I thought was perfect, firing, everything ready to go. And my first pass, I literally blew the head gasket. I
oh no!
Ended up being a little bit of a super glue error, which I will never recommend ever again. But that's what that one was. So we ended up pulling the coolant out of it after that pass, and then I would make a hit. I was pretty much 7.0s consistently, but a good bit of mile an hour. I was in a little bit of traction issues, but I mean, it was gearing up to be a pretty solid contender. Then after our qualifying passes, we made it to first round of eliminations, and I was next to Mario, and I ended up turning up just a little bit more because I knew he was pretty quick, heavy but very quick. And we both launched. We both had traction issues. I let out. I get back in it, and I hear Mario get out of it for a second. And I think he tried to get back going, but I was just about to click overdrive, and I was getting towards the end of the track, and all of a sudden the truck, she over-revved quite a bit.
Ooh.
I mean, she went from, you know, I was 100 plus. You know, I'm still an E4OD, so I was about $3,000 overdrive, and then I think it went into second gear. And I mean, I'm still waiting for that piston to come down from the atmosphere, man. I mean, she went pretty good. So everyone, I'm so sorry for oiling the track down last year in the beginning of eliminations, but that's how that went.
So
they were handing me cam pieces, block. I'm like, oh man.
Oh no.
So with that being said, you brought up something that's unique, that I still had an E4D in the truck. Walk our listeners through, 5.9 Cummins, and E4D isn't a normal transmission to have behind that. What kind of truck did you compete with last year?
So in my early 20s, I bought a silver and purple Ford F-250, which I passed on Craigslist about 100 times. I don't want a purple truck. I ended up going to see it. I fell in love with it, had to have it. So it's a 95 Ford F-250. It was a 5-speed, 7.3 Power Stroke. And I mean, the love just grew. I ended up capping that setup out about 690, I think that truck made as a best.
Which is respectable for a 7.3.
Yeah, very respectable.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I had like a half-filled block, billet rods, girdled lower end. Like, I had all these cool parts, and it's like, dude, it's not even worth like the power that it's making for like the money I put into it. So that was kind of hard. So I I love the common rail technology. I love the motors. I love the newer electronics. I love all that stuff, and I love my truck. So I set out with a goal originally 5.9. I mean, from total tear down to basic dual fuelers and I think I had an S476 from Force Inductions at the time. But I set out with a goal of 800, and I pretty much smacked almost 1,000 on like a break-in tune. So it's like that truck actually ran really, really, really good. I loved that thing. So I was pretty proud of that. But when I was at King of Street, I had Exergy 500%, live tune by Firepunk, TC Diesel, triple CP3s, S480 by Force Inductions, and like a VS Racing, a cheaper 102. And she made about 1,400 horsepower at the time. So, I mean, it ran pretty good then.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I know you had said you ran into some motor issues. What changed? What's changing if the truck's not together yet? What changed from last year into this year?
So, pretty much the whole drive back, I was pretty salty. I was looking for another 5.9. I was like, should I do another 5.9? I already did it. Let's try 6.7. And then, literally by the luck of the draw, I'm looking around. I had a couple extra bucks in my pocket, and I came across an ad for a D&J Enforcer that was literally maybe 12 minutes from my house in Pennsylvania at the time.
Oh, okay.
And that motor actually, right, that motor actually came out of the XDP monster truck. So that one was a bit of a sponsor job. And he was getting out of that particular platform in the truck. So I snatched that up probably 3 or 4 weeks after I got back from that event. And come March, I think I was done. You know, it had all of his cool upfitting for like dry sump, his dual CP3 case, like all the stuff I couldn't fit in a Ford chassis.
Right.
And upfitted it basically the way I had the 5.9 set up, but I ended up going a little bit bigger. I mean, this year is I kept the same Exergy 500s. One of them got smashed by number 4 ejecting. So I had them gone through fresh, all rebuilt, whatever. There's a 14 mil Exergy on the belt. There's a 12 mil on the case. There's a VS Racing 85 T6 on the manifold, and a on 3 107 from out in the atmosphere there. So it now has a fresh D&J Enforcer. I sent it out pretty much. It had a slight piston issue I didn't know about, so I got the truck running. Realized I had a compression issue. Sent it out. Josh and Drew got it torn down. I mean, it's brandy new, and this thing runs awesome. I love it. I drive it to work. I mean, I'm not going to tow a trailer, but I could. But I mean, it's just my street hot rod. I just kind of hang out with it. And I just got back from Firepunk 3-4 weeks ago. On fuel, I hit a bit of an air limitation at 1,700 horsepower, and I had an empty bottle of like a single stage sex with like a 82 jet or something like that, and did 1840. So I mean, she's it runs pretty good.
Hell yeah.
You don't need all that power, but I mean, it does it, and it does it really, really efficiently, and it's actually pretty clean for what it is. So I'm super excited to go back out swinging this year. I hope it stays, driveline wise, stays together.
So last year was your first year kind of throwing your hat in the ringer to compete. Is that correct?
Yes, on a stage like that. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
What was the motivation? Like, why did you decide that you wanted to do that?
It's like an all-in-one, it's like a motorsport buffet. I mean, I have a local track here. I love hitting that on Fridays, or if they get a race, test and tune, whatever on the weekends, I'll hit that. But, I mean, I don't get to go, I'm not really near a whole lot of sled pulls. There's some dirt drags out here, but like, it's a lot of like work stock type guys. or the truck's literally waiting on parts,
Right.
and I can't get to it. But I mean, I think everything. I'm ready to go. I'm about to mount a bumper on this thing, but I mean, it's an all-in-one. It's a blast. I mean, you get to hang out with friends, family, talk to other competitors. I mean, last year I wasn't in it very long, but I stuck out most of it. I mean, it was just a blast.
That's so cool to hear. I always love, you know, how this really is the enthusiast competition, right? Like this really is drawing guys who street drive their trucks and also want to have a lot of fun with them. I heard you mention there you got some drag race experience, not a lot of sled pull. Have you run the truck on the dyno yourself? Do you go to any dyno competitions?
Yeah. So I'm definitely no stranger to a dyno. I work for NJDRP. And a couple of years ago, we had a little bit of a Northeast dyno circuit going on. We had a mobile dyno, so I would bring the truck out if I had a tow truck. You know, the crew to get a dyno and everything, and you know all the merch stuff. It's kind of a lot, but whenever I could, I'd bring the truck. If there was a dyno event or something, I'd bring it. So I mean, I've personally smacked, 1,300 a few times on that particular dyno myself. So I do enjoy the rollers quite a bit.
That's awesome, man. That's something that a lot of the competitors don't have experience in.
Well, they'll have the truck dynoed, but not operate the truck on the dyno.
Very different, right?
Yeah.
Like very different worlds. So that's interesting. Do you think that's going to give you an advantage this year?
It could. I mean, typically trucks will make about what they're going to make. Other people kind of get freaked out by load a little bit. But at this point, pretty much everyone is almost swinging for the fence. And north of 1,000 horsepower, most dynos, at least mobile, really can't bring a whole lot of trucks down to their knees. So, I mean, you hit the load. If you're going to feel if those turbos are going to come on or not. I mean, usually I load her up around $3,000 or so and kind of feather in boost, and I'll leave load on pretty hard, and I'll let boost do a full sweep and load it and do a little slingshot there. But
I mean, you just saying that sounds like you have more experience than a majority of the guys that we've talked to. So I mean, it has that is a little secret weapon that you have.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. I mean, dynoing is kind of an art. I mean, we've literally dynoed thousands of trucks. They're all different, but I mean, I think I'll do all right. I mean, I've got it's a conversion truck, so I can command where I want converter and overdrive and all that to kick in or not kick off, and all that kind of stuff to help you bring power in. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that portion of it.
Now, last year ended in heartbreak early. This year, I'd assume you're looking to swing for the fences on it. Do you see yourself landing in the top 3?
That would be nice, but I mean, I know there are some heavy hitters with a whole lot better of a budget than me that are bringing spares. I mean, I'll have some extra shafts. I don't have a spare trans. I mean, I'm just looking to keep it consistent this year. I mean, turn down, I mean, it's a 650 truck, so I'd like to run 670s, like consistent, have some fun. I mean, I'm not looking to kill it. I mean, I'll swing for a number on the dyno because I think it's the last day, but I'm just looking to literally just make it to the end of the event this year. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I was there with all the competitors the whole event. So
realistically, the goal is just to make it through the whole event and get to experience the whole weekend.
Yeah. I mean, top 5 would be awesome. It'd be an honor, but I'm just looking to make it to the end. I say, hey, I did it, and let's do it again for 22.
Speaking on big hitters, going into 2021, who are some of those names and some of those guys that you expect to see in the top 3 spots then?
Oh man, I mean, there's quite a few guys. I mean, everyone's getting friendly with Josh and David, and I mean, I think those guys are really going to be up there. But I mean, at this point, I think it's anybody's game. I mean, last year there weren't the highest horsepower trucks killing it, like numbers wise, but they were super consistent and they placed really, really well. There were failures that knocked other people that weren't doing as well to, top 5. So I don't know the answer to that one. I think it's really anyone's game.
I mean, I think that there's like 2 plays with this, really. It's, if you have the driver mod, right, and you're consistent as a driver, you have that skill set. And at that point, it's keeping the truck together. Then you get the guys that are swinging for the fences that, hey, the truck is a dedicated race truck, dedicated drag truck, whatever the case may be, but I want to make a number on the dyno. I want to make my name known that, hey, I have a 18 plus wheel, 100 horsepower truck or whatever that looks like. And hopefully it might stay together to compete the rest of the event.
Right.
Right.
Well, I laugh too, because I'll be honest, everybody's plan is for the truck to stay together, and everybody's plan is to stay consistent. The place that gets really just thrown out the window are two places. One, something breaks. You can't predict that.
Yep.
You don't know what it's going to be, and you just do your best to roll with the punches there. The other is when the guy before you hits 1850 and you roll up and your first pass on the dyno is 1840. You're like, well, I definitely got to do another pass. I'm not going to walk away at 1840 when he's 1850. Or, you know, take that to any one of these
So the real
events.
question is, Steve, do you have that self-control?
No, he's in diesel performance. Of course he doesn't have self-control. He's got an 1800 horsepower fucking swap
Let
truck.
him answer. Let him answer that. Who are you?
The truck did get, it went from a goal, I thought 1,000 horsepower was the coolest thing ever. Now it's like people literally have their AC heated steering wheel trucks that will make 1,000 horsepower. So it's like, you got to step it up a little bit. So, I mean, do I have self-control? Yeah, some.
So you don't.
He's not
It's
a
cool.
crackhead in the street, right? So he's got some self-control.
I mean, that might be a cheaper addiction, if we're going to be honest.
What a blast, man. I think this is going to be a really cool truck to see. I know we were just scoping out some social media pics on this. Hey, if guys want to follow you and see more about your truck, where can they see the best pictures of it?
Best pictures, videos, Instagram for sure. It's at the PPE Common Rail. That's where you'll get little snippets or what I'm working on the truck that day. I think I just put up a video the other day of me slinging a belt and killing a radiator. But I mean, people got the general idea that she boogies. So I mean, it's good entertainment at the expense of me. But
those are my favorite.
Yes, yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about the truck or the competition that we haven't already discussed today?
I mean, I'll give a quick shout out to, the people who've helped along the way, because that was, being a conversion truck, that all the help you can get, honestly, is, you'll take it. Diesel conversion specialists had almost all the parts I needed. I had a failed part on the converter side to adapt to the Ford Trans, and they took care of me like instantly, took right care of it. Sam Weiss transmission, he built a really, really great E4 40100 transmission. I mean, the goal is to be the first 2,000 horsepower truck on fuel with him on a Ford Trans. I know other Ford transmissions have done it, but 2,000 was actually the goal I was going for. Air limited, but I'll take care of that and see what next year brings. But Sam, diesel conversion specialists. My work has helped me out tremendously with getting all the parts. Dealer costs. I mean, any dollar,
it helps.
Really, really helps with something like this. Absolutely. I mean, it can be draining at times. I mean, I slung 5 belts about 2 weeks ago trying to get a belt arrangement lined up.
Oh no.
So that was a little frustrating and a little bit of pressure going on there, but I believe I got it all figured out. So yeah, just like to thank everyone that stands behind the truck, especially the wife, for saying, hey, keep doing it, keep having fun with it. She's a great member of my team, so.
That's so cool.
Absolutely.
Steve, I know we're rooting for you. We're going to be excited to see what you're able to put down out there at All Truck Challenge here in just about a week away. So we're rolling up on this competition quickly. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Listeners, this has been another special edition of All Truck Challenge Competitor Interviews. I'm Paul Wilson.
And Chris Emke.
And you're listening to Diesel Performance Podcast. Thank you so much.
I mean, I'm still waiting for that piston to come down from the atmosphere, man. I mean,